through RED, through carbon markets, through clean development mechanism, then I think we've achieved absolutely nothing. Because the way to get to those targets is completely not only unacceptable but unrealistic. So I think that we have a very important obligation to defend the fundamental principles of the UN Framework Conventions, because as you said, they are development country friendly and they do give us some very sound principles in which to enter into the discussion. I think we also need to be very straightforward in exposing the bad things that are happening now in the negotiations and not be nervous about being seen as, criticising the UN, because if there's something there to criticise, I think we can be intelligent enough to say, this we defend, but what's really happening is completely undefendable. So I think that's an important message that we have to give out. I agree very much with Canada that the question, the very clear conclusion of an acknowledgement of the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples is absolutely fundamental before we have one more word of discussion about the RED. But I think that we should use that to expand it, to really show just how far away from any rights-based approach the current negotiations are. So it's not only the rights of Indigenous peoples, but the UN Declaration on the Right to Development, and there are so many, the Convention on Biodiversity, there are so many UN treaties and international human rights conventions that are clearly very violated in the way that the rich countries in particular are approaching the question of climate change. And finally, I think that none of this is going to happen on its own. And I think that it would be great if everyone could commit to say, this year we're all climate campaigners, because the way the Copenhagen ministerial is really being hyped up by the press, by the UNFCCC itself. Everyone's really focusing on Copenhagen in December as the red light moment that everything will happen. And I think that being the case, here it is probably right, not everything will be agreed in December because there's too much to agree. But perhaps some very important fundamental things will be agreed. And without us really exerting a tremendous amount of pressure from the inside and from the outside, what gets agreed is not going to be good. So we have a big responsibility, I think, to really push the process in a good direction and really engage people in this discussion about alternatives and how we can use this multiple crisis, the economic crisis and the ecological crisis, to think about how we reorganise things and how we do things in the future.
I think everybody's fine. And we've got the main agreement on what things to do with the ASEAN, and we can make a lot of proposals in reviewing the Vision 2020 with people's participation in basic and the UNFCCC, well, okay, I realize now it's the only game in town, and